Everyone. This is David Ross. Design thinking. We're going to be talking about a couple things today. First of all, we're going to go over my subject area that I'm looking to solve for with my team, our team, and it's design thinking and postgraduate hiring. We're looking at solutions that we can come up with to a particular problem that we're going to go over. So first, we're going to go over problem definition. We're going to go over basically the overall overarching things of where we want to have an impact. We're going to go through the scenarios, some of the research, what that's been showing. We've been working on this for about a year, but we're at a stage where we need to get more data, and there's some things that we're going to walk through so you can get an understanding of what our unique challenges are and where you see as individuals or as a team, as a group, to help us think through these particular challenges we're going to have. Then we're going to go over, we're going to model it out. I'm going to draw it out a little bit for you so you can get a sense of it. And then we're going to go through, basically who our team is, and we're going to talk about our project plans and basically give a kind of outline of where we're going to go with this particular product. So this particular project. So with that, let's get started. First thing we want to go over here is the definition of the problem. So what we're looking at here is our objective. Our objective is trying to find what problem are we really trying to solve. And as far as the problem definition, what we're looking at as even as the U.S. economy right now is generating a lot of jobs, what we're finding is in our research and a lot of conversations we're having with different sectors, students, employers, career counselors, there are two basic groups that are having problems basically in two different stories in the employment market for new graduates. So that's anyone coming out as a senior that's graduating or someone coming out of graduate school. Basically the same numbers we're getting that from the U.S. Department of Labor. One is a newly minted group of graduates that are graduating with and getting full-time employment. That's one of the groups. The second group is, and there's a growing segment, the second group, where graduates are working, they're hired, but they're working less than full-time, and they're working as independent workers. So we're trying to solve this problem primarily because this is a project. This is a growing problem with those of us, I guess, coming out of the higher education institutions with our degrees, and you funded your education, and you're finding a lot of students. Their expectations, with all that we funded, is to have full-time employment and not work as part-timers. So with that, the rate that we're seeing, and as far as the Labor Department, getting our sources from the Labor Department here, it's a 50% postgraduate underemployment rate. So what that means is, when I graduate my undergraduate degree, I could take half the class that I was looking at and know that half of them were going to get full-time jobs and half of them were going to be underemployed, meaning they're not working in the full capacity which they intended as far as their studies or their discipline or their master, that kind of thing. So also what we find in the job market, this is according to other sources, other research we've done, is that the average market application, as far as if a job is posted today, let's say you have a job, it's posted, and others can post to that position, there's usually 25 plus applications for each position that's posted. So it's very competitive. And 20% of those of you who have interned would probably recognize that we've done research and surveys on this, but what we're finding out is only 20% of the jobs that are internships are paid, and second, that 20% of those, only 20% turn into full-time jobs. So there's a very high percentage of graduates that are joining the labor force now as now independent workers or part-time employees. I mean, obviously you see the rise of, just give an example, Lyft, Uber, a lot of economy sharing, job sharing kind of situations going on out there for a certain percentage of the population as far as graduates that are graduating from school. So our design challenge, to frame it in broader terms, is how do we solve the problem of graduates not getting full-time jobs at higher rates? And our key objective is, as far as framing it in the form of a question, not like this is Jeopardy, but our question would be, how might we improve the lives of students looking to join the professional ranks? Our thinking behind that, we've thought this through for quite a little while here. What we want is students to understand how the current job market really works and enable graduates to be able to thrive and land their first full-time career ladder job within their first year of graduation. So that's our overall overarching impact that we're trying to create here through anything that we can come up with, as far as, you know, a partial solution or a full solution or whatever, you know, that can make life better for graduates going into the workforce. Now, the conflicts, as we've thinking through, there's multiple ways we've thought this through, but what we understand now is that this is a multi-sided problem. It isn't something that was created overnight. There's millions of jobs, millions of graduates, that kind of thing, over long periods of time. And over the past years, we've had multiple conversations and many conversations with a lot of different key stakeholders, employers, career counselors, and students. And basically, we're reaching the center of the nexus of this is the idea of the current hiring system is broken. Now, you might ask, why is that? Well, problem is with graduate hiring is both a blessing and curse all at the same time. It's very ambiguous now in a way, or it's growing more ambiguous, I should say. Now, it's clear cut as it used to be in prior decades. But the change is really more a technological one. We've identified it's more the technology that's in play now, the advances in technology, smartphones, the internet. You can post a resume on the internet very quickly. So can 100 other people. That's why you have so many people applying for the same position at the exact same time. And the other thing is, employers can now use this their technology called ATS, Applicant Tracking System, where they take in 100 resumes on a position. How does, if you're an employer, you're in their position, how would you scan through 100 resumes? Well, you have to have some type of means. So you use technology to kind of aid you in all this, flood of resumes coming into your desk or your email box. So you use this tracking system to actually knock out 99% of the people that are applying because of this or that. So that's part of why the system is broken. Lots of people can access the system and send resumes, and then they have systems where they have computers that will actually track and take out most of those resumes for one discrepancy or another, or whatever way they want to use in their own discretion as far as who they want to interview. So what I want to do here real quick is go through and give you an illustration of the problem. I'm going to do a little bit of magic with the pen. This is design thinking, so I think it would be appropriate to draw something out. And I just feel like I got to bust the pen out here and draw, just so you get a sense of our thinking and our processing, and so that we'd love to collaborate with you, any one of you, any groups and teams, and looking forward to that, to add your thoughts. If you have diagrams or pictures or any kind of illustrations you want to send us or collaborate with us, we'd be happy to get together with you. That's what we do. We love doing that. So with that, what I'm going to do is switch over to a whiteboard and bust out the pen. And this is a very simple, basic explanation so that you can see it visually. Hope I get this to scale the first time. You know how that works. So here we go. First of all, what we're looking to do here is give you a grid. And the artwork isn't going to be that spectacular, but I hope the idea at least comes through. And let's say on this axis down here, you have students. Okay. We'll just draw a picture of students. Don't mind the artwork. Don't judge. And then you have careers. Okay. You get the point. And then you have no interview. I'll call it INT. And then you have final interview. Okay. And here is where we're finding the crux of the problem. crux of the problem and possible solutions. So this is the context of where we're thinking. We're from what our research has shown so far, and we're now using design thinking to walk through this process to see how we can identify possible, real viable solutions. So if a student wakes up one day, sends in an application, what's happening is, let's say they're at this base zero, and they're trying to get an interview, but they're having a hard time because they meet this wall. Okay, and this wall is called an ATS, applicant tracking system. They're sending them through a little smartphone. They're sending a resume in. It's getting knocked down by this ATS system. So therefore, they never make it to the final interview because a lot of resumes are being challenged at this particular point, never make it to the hiring manager. Because you got, maybe a number of different resumes coming in. The hiring manager probably only wants to see 10, okay? And if you don't make that threshold or whatever, you don't get, you don't even get a chance to get to the final interview. So what we're trying to do here is along this line here, what we're finding out in our research, and we're doing surveys and things like that, I'll explain that in our project plan. We're actually doing a full survey of a whole department within UNCG of the students, and basically as part of our research to determine how a student can move in a direction where they move past this point here of the ATS and move into, this would be your first career job. Not a part-time job, but a full-time job. Like I can spell, okay? On the career ladder here. So this is where we're defining, if I can get this thing to draw, this is where we want this student to be. On their way past the ATS system and past the applicant tracking system, and on their way to talk to the hiring manager so they can get their first full-time jobs. Okay, so this is the point we're trying to get to. So back to our slideshow. Okay. So our team, team of 4, including myself. Gabriel's a production designer. Linda's executive administrator in business. Steve is a career counselor, and myself, I'm team leading and facilitator. And our project plans are these, and this is what we'll close on here. What we're looking to do, this is kind of like we kind of came to a overall consensus that the first week we'll look to conduct interviews with experts and career counselors and gather secondary, research, basically find out what we don't know, that we don't know, that kind of thing. Second, we have planned to conduct whole class interviews with students at UNCG. This is something we're doing with potentially up to 100 or more students, so we can get a good sample size. The next week, we're looking as a project plan to launch a survey with students and those entering the job market, and to identify out of those, out of the research, out of the interviews, with the survey, identify strategies for those that are successfully entering the job market, and find out what they're doing to get past the ATS system. The 50% that are getting the full-time job, find out what their pattern is, what their model is, how they map that out. That's the next week. We'll create maps and models to reflect the data in the findings. And then looking at the end of this, now obviously this will go according to the way the course is set up, but we're looking to also present our findings and put together practical working solutions with your input, with our team, and see if we can move the ball forward on this. So with that, I want to thank you. Here are our references, but really just want to thank each of you that can contribute. I'm looking forward to joining with you on your projects, and our team. If we got any ideas, we'd love to get together with you on them, and your ideas. We'd love to work with you on yours. We love doing this, and look forward to getting together with you. So with that, I think that's about enough for right now. So once again, David Ross, and look forward to working with you all. Thanks so much.